Wayne Rooney, if you listen to me, you will be able to return DC United back to prominence. You will be able to turn DC United into the Seattle Sounders of the 2020s and the 2030s. Yes, if you listen to me, DC United will be the face of the MLS for 20 straight years, from 2023 all the way to 2045. Because Wayne Rooney, I understand what new era sports fans want. I understand what new generation sports fans want. I understand what millennials and Gen Zs want. Number one, they want to be entertained and they want to see great players on winning teams. Three things, Wayne Rooney: entertainment, great players, and winning teams. That's the three elements, Wayne Rooney. So Wayne Rooney, the first thing you need to do to return DC United back to the top, rebranding. DC United needs to be rebranded. The colors black and white represents death. Teams, look, I'm not teams. People wear black and white at funerals. People wear black and white at funerals. The colors black and white on a logo represents death. DC United has been a dead organization since I don't know when, but I just know it's been a very long time because Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, LA Galaxy, LAFC, those have been the popular teams in the MLS within the past decade. I haven't heard nothing about DC United. So DC United, you have been dead for a very long time. It's time for you to bring life to the organization of Wayne Rooney. And with that, you have to rebrand the entire image. Like Kevin Samuel said, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to reinvent your image. What you once were, you don't have to be that now. What you were in 2010, you don't have to be that way in the 2020s. Add some colors to your logo. As a matter of fact, I suggest that you should create a new crest, either a new logo or a new crest. You know, take a look at some of the USL teams, how their crest is creative and it just looks inviting. And the crest represents the neighborhood and the community. DC United, that's what you need, because your current logo, it looks like it doesn't represent anything. It just looks like it represents death. A black and white eagle. It just looks like it represents death. You need a new crest and a new logo that's full of colors and that's full of life. Add green, yellow, red, sky blue, get creative with it. It doesn't have to be the regular red, white, and blue. Please do not be a stereotypical Washington, D.C. team and your colors is just red, white, and blue. No. Listen, this is new era. You're trying to attract new generation sports fans. You have to become a little hip. Don't become too hip now, Wayne Rooney, but you have to become a little hip with the crest. Add some good looking colors. Some shade of blue, some shade of green. It doesn't have to be regular green, but just some shade of green or some shade of blue, some shade of red, some shade of yellow, some shade of orange. Just get creative with the new crest or the new logo, Wayne Rooney. It's time for DC United to rebrand itself. It's time for DC United to recreate itself. The second thing you should do, Wayne Rooney, college football style recruiting. Wayne Rooney, LAFC has changed the game. LAFC have allies with Lincoln Riley of USC and LeBron James of the NBA. Those two guys, they know how to recruit. One of the reasons why those guys have been so great throughout their careers is because they know how to recruit. So Wayne Rooney, I suggest that you infiltrate a college football program and bring in one of the top recruiters. Let them join your team. Just because it's soccer and that's gridiron football doesn't mean you shouldn't give them a chance. Some of those guys may be interested in learning about a new sport. Some of those guys may be a little more interested in soccer because the pressure to win in American soccer is not as high as college football. So if you bring in a guy like, let's say like Urban Meyer or a guy like Ed Orgeron, Those are two guys who are well-known recruiters in the college football world, and they know how to recruit. They can bring their expertise and their experience from college football recruiting, and they can teach you how to apply that to American soccer recruiting. Wayne Rooney, you have to become creative. This old, conventional, traditional style of how things used to be in the MLS, new era sports fans, new generation sports fans don't give a damn about that. Remember, Rooney, we want to see great players, great teams, and entertainment. Great teams, great players, and entertainment. And college football style recruiting, it answers those needs. So now I know getting one of those guys is going to be a long shot. Urban Meyer or Ed Orgeron. It'll be a good PR move if you're able to pull something like that off. But if you're not able to get them, it doesn't have to be them. I just throw their names out there because those are really two good recruiters in the college football world. But if you can infiltrate the college football industry and take one of those guys, maybe somebody from the University of Maryland, or maybe one of Greg Schiano's staffers from Rutgers, and add them to your team. Or you can just consult with those guys. You can consult with the football coach, the college football coach at the University of Maryland. You can consult with the college football coach at Rutgers University. You can consult with James Franklin at Penn State University and just learn how they recruit players, and you can apply that to recruiting for DC United. Ray Rooney, you have to be aggressive. College football style recruiting is part of the new generation of American soccer. It has to be done. You have to recruit great players because we want to be entertained. We want to see great players play, and we want to see teams win. New generation sports fans are not allied to any teams. We don't pledge allegiance to any teams. We just pledge allegiance to teams that win and teams that have great players and teams that can entertain. The third thing you have to do, Wayne Rooney, you have to be active in the summer transfer market. You can't only be sellers like New England. If you become just sellers like New England, you will join them as being a forgotten club in the 2020s. You have to sell and buy. You have to be active in the market. Because this is the new thing, Wayne Rooney. The summer transfer market is Christmas in July for MLS fans. If you're MLS fans, if you have a treat. You celebrate Christmas twice a year. You celebrate Christmas in December and you celebrate Christmas in July. That's the good thing about being an MLS fan. The summer transfer market is no longer a market where MLS is just selling. Oh no, the MLS teams are buying in addition to selling. So the summer transfer market is now Christmas in July for MLS fans. So Wayne Rooney, you already have connections in Europe. So the same way David Beckham is able to recruit European players to Miami, you will be able to do the same thing for DC United. And it's not a hope. Fans are not hoping that you will be able to do it, Wayne Rooney. Fans are expecting you to be able to recruit players from Europe. So live up to the expectation, Wayne Rooney. So Wayne Rooney, those are the three things. Those are the three things that you have to do. Similar to the other suggestions I gave you in Monologue 120, this is some additional things you need to do. And all this can be done in 5 seasons, within 5 years. This is the good thing about soccer in general. It's not like NFL. It's not a lot of positions and it's not a lot of players in different positions that you got to deal with in order to construct a team. Like the thing about soccer, even though there's different positions, like a lot of the guys generally do the same thing during the game. A lot of them generally do the same thing. So it's not like NFL and NBA where it takes 10 years for you to build a team. No, it's in MLS, 2 to 5 years. No, 2 to 3 years, actually. No more than 3 years. So those are some additional suggestions that you should do, Wayne Rooney, that DC United desperately needs. Rebranding is a huge thing. DC United, you represent death. Your logo represents death. The only time people wear black and white is at funerals. You need to add more colors. So rebranding, college football style recruiting, if you're able to consult with a guy like Urban Meyer, Ed Orgeron, or the coaches at University of Maryland, Rutgers, or Penn State, do so. And not only being sellers in the summer transfer market, but also being buyers.